Yo, still bills, what's the zip, man? Yo, peep gang, man. Heading to work after like a week and some change off, man. It's weird getting back to the grind. But yeah, man, Flashback Fridays, man. Y'all know I'm gonna start doing that shit, man. I think that shit sounds smooth, man. You know how to do. Take a fight, a controversial fight from back in the day. Just it ain't even gotta be back in the day. But a controversial fight, and give my personal analysis on it, man. And today we gonna talk about Mike Tyson versus James Tillis. I don't see how it was such a controversial fight, personally, man. Tillis had success in the later rounds when Tyson started to slow down. He was just so used to, and prone to knocking motherfuckers out. Gassed. It was just a stepping stone that most, knockout artists go through. They're so used to, being able to get an opponent out of there in a certain amount of time that when they get to a certain point where it's like, all right, my nigga, you should be sleep on the canvas right now. It's that's a mental hurdle that they got to get through. Not all. It takes a special discipline type fighter to be like, all right, cool, you ain't going nowhere, so I'm gonna come to show the rest of my arsenal. And Tyson just wasn't at that. He wasn't at that he wasn't at that level mentally yet. He was just, yo, if I hit you, you gotta go down, and that's just where it ends. He wasn't there just yet, but he got there. He most definitely had 12-round bouts with some credible champions under his belt. Nonetheless, Tyson came out aggressive, prototypical Tyson. Non-stop head movement, breaking the distance of his opponent, using the jab, up and down, power punching off of just whatever, whatever that dude throws, it was gonna hurt. So it was never a set shot with Tyson. The only combination you can, expect him to throw was the left hook to the body, left uppercut upstairs, or the right hook to the body, right uppercut upstairs. It was the only combinations that that's his patented combination right there. But he was just doing what he do, man. And the round Tillis did start to have success in, he got dropped. And that put him on the back burner once again, man. That put him on the back burner once again. I don't know where this notion comes from that it was a controversial win in favor of Tyson. I'm like, no, I didn't even, one thing I've had to stop doing is listening to the judges, man. I can no longer be like, well, the judge, look at what the judges say. Even the judge, I can't do that no more, man, because, I will to a certain degree. If the judges' cards are logical, all right, well then, yeah, then we can bring their, their opinion, their expert opinion into the equation. But I've had to fall back off of doing that and gauge the fight for my goddamn self, man. And from what I saw from my goddamn self, Tillis lost the fight. He started having success, he started working off of the jab, mid-ring. When Tyson gassed out, when, his work rate dropped off, that's when Tyson started coming, or not Tyson, but that's when Tillis started coming on. That's when he started popping the jab, finding him, tracking his head, moving. And he, Tyson, he was moving his head, but it wasn't like, it was early Tyson. Like when you watch his early sparring sessions, his dude's name was Carl something. His real early sparring sessions where he was moving his head. He was moving his head real effectively, man. But he wasn't stepping in behind, slipping off of the line to put himself in counterpunching position. He was just moving his head for the sake of moving his head, just evading the shots. He somewhat started doing that with Tillis, and Tillis started to, capitalize off of it, man. Pop the jab and work off of the jab, and he had success with it, and I think he was able to string a few rounds. But I think coming into them championship rounds, Tyson started digging deep once again, and started answering back. I don't know where the controversy comes from, man. I think it comes with the territory. It's like, when Manny, I did a breakdown of Manny and Marquez a couple of weeks ago. It's the same with that. When Manny everybody hated Manny, so they nitpick every little round. You know, they want him to lose a round so bad. They nitpick what took place in that round, and they'll give the round to the fighter to the opposite fighter, so he could lose. You know, people do that a lot. They did it with Floyd. They did, you know, when Floyd fought Mike Down in that first fight, and motherfuckers were jumping up and down. Floyd lost that fight. No, he didn't. You know what I'm saying? He didn't lose that fight. He didn't lose that fight. It just happens when you get to a certain level of prestige. Canelo and Golovkin, Canelo and Lara. It happens, man. It happens. Stardom comes with the extra shit. For every person that loves you, there's 3 people that hate you. And that's what that is. But as far as Mike and Tyson and Tillis goes, Tyson beat his ass. Like, I mean, what more do you want me to say? What more can you say? The dude won the fight, man. The dude was a lot more. He was a lot more accurate. You know, he dictated the pace for the majority of for a bigger, for a larger portion of the fight. He had Tillis backing up. You know, he had Tillis on the ropes. He dropped Tillis. I think that knockdown really sealed the deal. It really sealed the deal. You know, he was able to string all the early rounds in and bank a few late rounds. Tillis went 12 with him and only hit the canvas once. You gotta commend him on that. You gotta commend him on that. A lot of people wasn't going 12 with Tyson at that particular point in time. Hence why he looked the way that he looked, you know, him being gassed. But nonetheless, he won the fight. I don't see how it was controversial. Swine. But I don't see, you better get over it, nigga, before they pull your ass over. But I don't see how it was a controversial loss or a controversial win in favor of Mike. You know, Mike is perceived as an overrated heavyweight, so anytime a fighter does better than what his previous opponents did, they tend to drag it. Tyson didn't lose that damn fight. Tyson won that fight. I thought it was pretty obvious he won that fight. Yeah, success in later rounds when Tyson is inactive that doesn't predicate the entire fight. that doesn't predicate it or win for the entire fight. He lost. He lost the fight. It is what it is, man. Y'all know how I feel about Tyson. Tyson is the GOAT to me. He's the GOAT. I have him as my, he's my personal favorite fighter. I personally think if, I've said it before, had he never went through the circumstances he went through in life, he's undisputedly the greatest heavyweight to ever live, man. Because I've never seen a heavyweight be able to do what he does at his level. But I do understand the notion why people think that he's overrated. But, he's the GOAT to me. He's the GOAT to me. Y'all know how I feel about Mike, but I do try to be unbiased as I possibly can be. And watching that fight, I just don't understand how exactly that was such a controversial win. I don't get it. The dude did the damn thing. The combination punching was there. The power punching was there. The defense was there. The counter punching was there. I mean, I forget what had to be like round 4 or 5, man, when he slipped the hook and changed directions on him. So even when Tillis' back was turned to Tyson, by the time he faced him again, he was already not only in position to punch, but ready to launch the shot. So as soon as Tillis turned around, he was just met with a left hook and floored. That's one of the greatest knockdowns ever, dude. That's one of the greatest, most cerebral knockdowns ever, man. Tyson's a bad motherfucker, man. And I just don't understand why people feeling like he should have lost that fight. He did everything right in that fight except win the middle rounds. He got gassed. You know, it's like Edgar Berlanga when he fought Desmond, I forget his last name, or Damon something. I can't remember his last fight. You go 16-0 with all first round knockouts. You all right? Cool. I'm on a killing spree right now, man. Let me go in here and try and off this nigga's head. Let me continue with this spree. Eventually, you know, you stop pumping the jab. You just rely on your power punch and you go in for the kill prematurely. And now everybody is just gonna fall and crumble. It's just not gonna happen. So it's a mental lapse. And now that he's been through that experience, we'll see a lot more well-rounded fighter in Edgar Berlanga in his next fight. So it was the same with Tyson. We saw a lot more. We saw a better gas tank. We saw a lot more accurate punching. You know, we saw the same punch variety and punch selection. That was never going to change with Mike. But just setting the shots up better, setting the kill shots up better is what you started seeing better of him when he became a champion and started taking it to niggas. So it happens, man. It is what it is. But Tyson did not lose that fight. Fuck what y'all niggas is talking about. It was a dominant victory in by my estimations. Maybe not dominant as we like, but clearly like an 8-4. That's the most I could give Tillis. I couldn't give him 7-5. I couldn't do it. Can't do it. Tyson was doing his shit. So that's how I'm feeling about it though, man. Let me know if I'm burnt out, if I'm wrong or something, man. Fuck what y'all niggas is talking about. I'm heading to the job. I might do another video later, man. Peace.